Testing, 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 testing. Okay, yeah, that's live there. Okay, so today's one is CS4222 assignment part 2. As of yet, he hasn't actually put the assignment up on the assignments tab, so we do have to go into resources and go in there to the assignments folder to find the actual assignment. And just bring it up to view. So today's one is focusing mostly on array lists. There are some aspects of using gets and sets properly, and it's also a test of your comprehension of reading the questions, all of which I'll go through in due time. So first things first, close off that because I had it open before, and where's the... here we go. So before on that, I have created a few challenges for folks to do. You can find them linked in the repository, but they basically sum down to this. For the part 1, if you're given this to the array list, do something with it that makes it readable and usable. The hint for that is it's using the class that we made. I come back to this part 2 at the end when I'm done. For the moment, let's create a new folder, new directory, part 2. Mark it as a sources root, and yep. Oh, what else did he give us? Oh yes, he gave us a track. So we start off with the track. CK. Ignore my typos, they're fine. And we just copy the track from here, which is there, into here. And that we don't do anything more to track. We don't even look at it again. We just make sure it's there because we're going to use it a lot. I'm going to commit that there. Added the track and commit. So that's the track. What we also want is track class. We don't need to know that. The playlist class. And oh, there's one thing that caught me out here. He puts in bold playlist with a lowercase l. However, the constructor is playlist with a capital L. So I'm actually gonna split this. Joys of having a wide enough screen. You can actually do stuff like this. And there. I'm gonna move you a bit to the right as well. So we need to create a new class called playlist. PlayList. Yeah, that's capital L1. That's grand. And we need to copy in the constructors. We can literally just copy paste as required. Add in the extra stuff that we need to do to get rid of the errors. You see the red underline here. You may not be able to see it. It's big screen. So yeah, the first part of what I'm going to be doing is just filling out the class with what he wants. A public toString which we copy from there and paste it. Oh, and you see this one needs to return a string, so temporarily I'm just gonna go return, and that returns an empty string. We can come back to it later to make sure that it actually does what we want it to. Add in the rest of the classes, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, curly brackets, make sure IntelliJ doesn't yell at us. Gonna move these up just for readability of my part. We've got another returns to string, which for that case I just copy the empty return. Again, filling all these in at the end works far better because we need to have all of these methods in. If we miss one, we lose marks. So making sure we just have them is paramount. You go on the same line. You know, Dermot likes using the let's go back. I know Dermot likes to keep things short. You can see the multi-line there, and that is in part because he's doing it in Word. Another part because he still somewhat conforms to the 80 character line limit. It's not perfect, but there are historical reasons to do that. Good reason, well, good enough reasons then. Not stellar, but good enough. So, next method we're adding in is the remove one. So it's expecting a return value, so just say true for the moment. Return true. And that gets IntelliJ to just shut up about the errors. Okay, we need to add the showList one. It is grand. Add the curly brackets. And playAll, which is grand. And the playOnly. And that is all the required methods in. So let's just save that. Control K is 2 on required methods added. There we go. Discord is slow in here. Oh wait, yeah, I'm taking a lot of the upload. Keep doing that. So, all the required methods in. Let's go to the top and work sequentially through. So, we have to add 2 more variables in. We have to have a string for the name of the playlist. So it's string name, and we also have to have a collection of track objects. Now we could use an actual array, however that has issues in the way that you have to keep track of how long it is, where items are in it, and the length of it and all that. You do have to manage resizing. It just so happens that he's been teaching us the past few weeks about array lists, which are really convenient from our standpoint. They take away a lot of the manual handling, so we're going to use that. Array list, and it is track, and I'm just going to call it tracks because I am extremely inventive. And there's two, and interesting enough, what will take the most time in this tutorial is going through the testing of it. Okay, so what he tells us is create a playlist with a default name, such as my playlist. So we need to go and set name equals this playlist, because we set a default name if no other parameters are called. However, if the string is passed to it, we're going to name the playlist wherever this string is. So it's going to be name equals playlist name. And for sake of clarity, I am going to do this dot something on basically everything here that needs it. Oh, and the other thing here, see, this is grayed out. We don't use it yet, so we're gonna go this dot tracks equal to new array list. There. Notice you don't actually have to put in the type in here, it just infers it from the type that's up here. And since we need to do it for both of them, I'm gonna copy that down. So that should be the constructors done. Done. Constructors done. Okay, now on to the toString. Now, interesting thing is that where did it go? What's his name again? It is Dimension is going to do. So, do you remember last week when we got an email from Dermot about the toString? So the way, more specifically, about the comparison between the toString and the showList. Both of those functions output the type of the the contents of the list. So, but toString returns it as a string, whereas where do we go? showList outputs it to the console directly. So, toString. We need to create a string that represents everything in tracks, which is an array list of track. And so array list string, oh, there we go, is equal to new result being the variable name, result equals new array list, and we're gonna go and set the return as result dot toString. So it takes whatever's in result and converts it to a string. Now, do you remember the enhanced for loops that he taught us? For something in something, for track, track in tracks, this dot tracks. So you see here, for every track in this dot tracks, you do something with track. And I'm going to go result dot add and semicolon at the end, track dot toString. Let me just elaborate a bit here. In track, you can color these since they are from last semester's one. In track, it has its own toString method. So when we call it toString, it returns a string that we can then use in our own playlist toString one. Another clarification, this won't be perfect like the entire structure, like the entire playlist. It will get you most of the marks, and the code is there so that you have something to fall back on to take a review at. But I do recommend, no matter what, you work on it yourself and use it as a backup. So that's the toString 2. toString complete. Okay, this is what I said at the beginning, that this assignment focuses somewhat on getting and setting variables. We did getting variables last semester for assignment part 4. If you recall, that was the, which one was again? The tweet one. So you're getting the name of it, you were getting the length of it, you were getting every type. Here we are going to set the name. So say for example you don't like the default name of my playlist, but you forgot to set it up that way. Well, you can fix that. So it's this dot name is equal to name, setting this dot name to be equal to this. Quite simple, isn't it? And we're going to bundle up the getName at the same time. So this dot name is what we want to return. So here's 2 get set name. Oh, and you may be wondering why I'm committing so often. It's in part to show a history and progress of no, not dropping frames. Not for a moment, I was dropping frames. Where did that go though? Oh, feck. There we go. It's so that you can go back and see the repository at whatever state you want. You want to see the code when it was at the very bare bones at the beginning? Yeah, sure, you can go back in time to that, literally rig it. See what you need. So here are here are the 3 methods that we are using to add tracks to our playlist. But the thing is, it's a relatively simple thing to do. See, they all add return nothing, which is good. So we can just go tracks, which is, oh wait, this dot tracks dot add, and we want to go new track. Oh, and look, IntelliJ pops up this list of possibilities to do, and wouldn't you know, there's an option for just title and artist that matches perfectly to what we need. Track, title, artist. There we go. Let's first add track complete. Let's do the same for the next one down below. This dot tracks dot add and new track title artist year duration year and duration. So you can see when I hover over track here, it pops up this little window telling me exactly what can be added to it, and it is title, artist, year and duration. If I pop over this one, it says because I've only given it reduced amount of items, only title and artist. And this is probably the easiest one of the lot. This dot add tracks add T. So we're passing in a track, it's pre-made, we don't have to do a new track, so we just add it. Really, that's all. Is to adding tracks. Okay, so there's that. Now remove. This is gonna be a tad different. So the method is pass the title of the track to be played. I am just gonna copy this whole serial in because I like having things in one place to read it. Boom. There we go, quite readable now. So we're passing the title of the track to be removed. If there is a track in the place with the same title as the track removed, the method returns true. You should use a case insensitive comparison when matching track titles. If there's no track, the method should return false and the list should be left unchanged. So there's a couple of things here. First of all, do you remember the lab that we had with Alan ages back now, where he said that it's easier to set the default value to be the hardest one to calculate? So we're gonna do that. So it's result boolean result is equals to true. So return false. So false and return result. Now we have to actually, I'm gonna take a piece of code from someone else. Where did it go? That had a slight pitfall. So this is the snippet of code from someone I know. It should work close enough, but there are a couple of pitfalls. First of all, they do have the right idea of using contain sequence fonts to do that. They do have the right idea of having a loop, and there is one slight problem of comparing strings. You do not use equals because in that case you're just comparing the references to the strings, not the actual strings themselves. And we know from our microlinguist tutorials that comparing references may not be a good idea. Anyways, there was a second one here of remove. I can't remember exact error code it gave. So this is somewhat the right idea, but there is a pitfall. Say for example, you have a playlist of size 10. That's set at the very beginning, in the top part of the for statement. And as far as I know, it's not updated again. So if the element you're removing is in the first place, it would remove it, grand, and shorten array list, which would not be quite good, because when you get up here, you go to try to go to element 10 and find there's no element 10, and your program will crash. It's been since corrected, but grand. So the way to solve this is you loop backwards through it. You start at the last position and you work your way back to the very beginning. And the coding for this should be similar enough. For int I equals, we want to go from the last position, which is this dot tracks dot size, size -1, because we need, remember, off by 1 error. Classic error of the two major errors in computer science. There is caching, there is naming things, and there's off by 1 errors. You're free to laugh. And we want the entire loop to stop when I is equal to I is greater than while true is I is greater equal to 0. I is minus minus. So we're starting at the last position, and each time we go through it, we go back 1 step. And so now we need to get the track at that position is equal to this dot tracks dot get I. So that is the track at this position. It could be the very end of the list that we set off, and it is right at the back at the beginning. We don't care. All we know is that I gets it to us. And we need to do a comparison. So if, oh wait, not curly brackets, track dot get title dot to lowercase dot equals and title dot the lowercase. Oh, that's a mouthful. That is a real mouthful. Oh wait. Okay, we can come back to that in a second. And if it is matching, we want to remove it from the track list. So it's track dot remove, and since we know the position, it's at I, and we need to set the result is equal to true, because we have found, oh a match. And now this next part is what I do love about IntelliJ. It tells you where you can improve. So you see how this is grayed out? It's telling us that it's not being used. If we hover over it, it tells us why. So to lowercase call can be replaced with equals ignore case. Now before I did this assignment myself, I did not know that there was an equals ignore case. I just thought there was an equals. So that's perfect. So I'm going to use that, and it just changes it to track.getTitle equals ignore case title. And so it compares it that way. Again, this is why I've been trying to get so many people onto IntelliJ, because it tells you how you can improve your code. It tells you where you fucked up, but it also tells you how you can improve it. So that is the remove complete. So that one just loop all the way along, removing everything that has the same title as whatever you're searching for. And it will return true if it found something, return false if it didn't, because it will return false if nothing changes with this. So let's commit that to is2 and remove complete. Whew. Okay, this is coming along. We've only got a few more left. So, showList is the one I mentioned earlier that was similar enough to the toString. The difference is, as the email from Tidyup said, was that ooh, that's good music now. It just prints out the console. So it's, we just need to go through and in a hand, oh wait, unless it says, oh yeah, the list is empty. So let's deal with the null case first. If this dot tracks dot size is equal to 0, system dot out dot println, the list is empty. So that's grand. And the next part won't actually impacted at all. So we need to print out the, so we need to just print out the tracks. So it's a for track, which is the type, track, which is the name, the variable name, in this dot tracks. We need to go system dot out dot println track. So there. You can, this is the interesting thing, you can return early. It would be an empty return statement. EAR. However, because we're checking for size 0, this here will never actually go anywhere because there'd be 0 tracks in it. This does not print out any track, so this would still print out, only print out this. It's different control mechanisms. If we had it to be equals to 1, for example, we would want to return early because there is something in the track list that will print out. So it's just different control mechanisms, and returning early from functions is a very valid way to do stuff. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. Ouch. Showlist complete. Here's 2. Complete. Okay, so this is where the key part that he has at the end of it comes into play. I'm gonna go you shut up there. I'm just using you to highlight it in green. So in Java, if you want to really highlight a comment, you can pop it in oh god, that's a long sentence. There we go. That makes it down. So what he's saying, and this was at the end of the document. Hello, how are you doing? Is that you can create your own methods to basically make other ones work. From red, no idea what that is. And you will, or you should be needing them for these 3, because condition is that where is it? Nice. In addition, playing the tracks randomly should not alter the sequence of the classes of the tracks in the array list. This part here is key. Let me just add a few extra stars just to make that really clear, because this is key, paramount. And this is a hint of how to do it. We need a structure to be able to play the tracks without changing the order of them in the array list. And you know what? We can use an array for that. If we just put in the indexes of the array, we can do it. So int play order equals new int, and we know the size of it because it is going to be a this dot tracks dot get size not get size. And so there's 2 things. How did I do it myself? Sorry, I am going to my own stuff because it is a good way to make sure I'm not fucking up. Okay, so there we go. Play. Oh yeah, play all. Oh yeah. So let's first deal with the non-random case first. So if it is not random, we do this. We need to go through and actually let's just put this out as an int size equals this. So non-random, we go through sequentially and we pull out the index of the tracks in the base list and just save them in the array. Damn it, that's confusing to say in a quick sentence. Yeah, so using the array to store the indexes of the array list. Yeah, that's better. So for I equal to 0, int I is less than size I plus plus. We can use size here. Oh wait, we can use size here because we've already defined it up here. And we just simply want to go through and pop in play order at position, let's insert, position I is going to be equal to I. Seems like a tad bit of overkill at the current time, but this will make a tad more sense in a little while. So that's the non-random stuff. That's where you go through, you start at the first one and you play on way through. Now the else statement, the randomized one. Now, do you remember the Minesweeper? Do you remember the Minesweeper example he showed us? Basically, there's a way to add mines, but not add multiple mines in the same cell, in the same spot. How he did that was just checking. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a temp array of the same size as the play order one, and I'm going to go through and just keep track of how many are found, because that's going to be the index for playAll. So int LAD equals 0, and while found is less than size, we need to go through and do some randomization. So int position equal to, we need to convert, make sure this is an int, and it is math.random by size. Okay, so we're gonna go through. We have a temp array to store values temporarily, and we're just keeping track of how many of play order are found, and we're gonna just keep generating random numbers until we're done. And so this will go everything from 0 to size -1. And if and a quirk of creating an array of ints is that new array is that all values are 0. So when we create a new array, all the values in it, if it's an int array, are zeros. It just zeros it out. We don't have to pre-format the array or anything. Quite convenient. as far as I can tell, this comes from C, where by default all int arrays are filled with zeros. So we check to see if whatever is at that position in temp is 0. So if temp position equals 0, we go play order, and that is filled. Since we're starting off at 0, the first empty gap in this will be the first one here, is equals to the position. And that's grand, but to make sure that it does not get selected again, we need to go here and fill it in. And position is equal to 1, which is 1 is not 0, so this will never ever be true for this position again. You just need to increment the filled is plus 1. Plus equals 1. There we go. So this is save the position in the order array. Mark the position as used, and finally move on to the next spot in the play order. Okay, play order. And so this will just loop through until every single spot in the play order is used. But here's the thing, I haven't actually played any of these. All this has been doing is just getting the an array of numbers. What can you do with an array of numbers? Well, we're going to come back to that in a little bit. So, AS2 foundation for playAll. Now, commit anyway. Come on. Yeah, I know you're giving out about this IntelliJ. Please don't give out to me too much. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. Well, mostly. In this one, it's checking for anything that matters the artist. Get at it. And so we need to again keep track of how many spaces are filled, because it will not be matching up perfectly with the index if there are anything less than a playlist of all one artist. You folks are just gonna rickroll him, aren't you? Like endlessly rickroll every track, Rick Ashley. Oh, I don't blame you though. So now to remember no, we can't use an enhanced for. Bah. So for I'm gonna yoink this, yoink, and I'm gonna get the track at each position equals where did I do that lately? Oh yes, up here. See here? I'm gonna yoink this. The remove code has the code for incrementing through tracks and dealing with them. So if it matters the artist, we need to and you need to get artist equals lowercase artist, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add play order filled, which starts off with 0, so the first entrance in the array is equal to I, and we need to go filled plus equals 1. I am actually gonna yank this from my own stuff because I made a slight mistake. Track get artist, there we go, lowercase. There we go. Yeah, the things you learn by just going through them in rubber duck debugging. So this basically, if the artist is found, it adds the index of the track to the play order array, and this just moves on to the next slot in the play order array. Yeah, fairly simple. It's basically the same as up here in this part here. And we'll get back to it again. So playOnly is complete. Well, first playOnly. Let's just copy the code and go to the second one. So get year. I know there's probably going to be someone who's going to give out about efficiency, lines of code, duplication, blah blah blah. Sometimes being a tad verbose is well worth the extra bits. So I'm just going to tidy up there. Yeah, they look basically the same. The only difference is that this is checking for year, this is checking for artist. The artist one has to ignore the case because cases are difficult. And English is a relatively simple language for this, so that's not too good. So AS2 foundation of playOnly. Now that's going to yell at me for 3 warnings. See on the play orders here. Now this is where what Dermot says, you may find it useful to develop additional helper methods, comes into play, because all I've done in these 3 is create a way to figure out which tracks to play. Now we've got to actually play them. Private void, because it won't return anything, play tracks. And this one will be accepting a parameter of int play order. For conformity's sake, naming it the same as what you originally did makes a lot of sense. So this is an int array, and we need to just go through and we're going to use an enhanced form, int indx in play order for every number in play order, which is basically an index of the track list. We are going to take that number, and I'm gonna go through and just use system.out.println, and we need to go this dot tracks dot get, and want to know this needs a number, so index. So we get it to print out whatever's in that position. We don't care where the position is. We just tell the array list to go get whatever's in that position and print it out. And now we can just take this function, hamper function here, and give it what it wants, which is play order. And we can do that for the 3 methods that need it. If there's nothing in the play order, it doesn't care. It's still using an array list. Now, of course, this isn't optimal because, well, look at it this way. On these two, there's a smaller subset of ones that work. So you may actually end up with an array that's just literally full of zeros, and we don't want that. So it's yes, 2 and now playTracks. So we need to tidy up these 2 ones here, because they may have less than the total number. But thankfully, that's fairly easy to fix. So we just resize them. So if filmed is less than size, we need to resize to fit. And the way we do that is play order equals to arrays. Yeah, it is arrays. Dot copy. Yeah, so you can see here, copy of in the original and the new length. Copy of play order is the original, and we know it is of length filmed. And then we just copy it and paste this down to here. Remove the extra little space, blah blah blah. There we go. So this just resizes the arrays if they're too big. Again, this is something that you only have to do with arrays. If you're using an array list, it doesn't give a damn about that. But arrays are simple, they're really fast, and even with resizing, it will outperform array list in this regard. Okay, there's 2. Resize for playOnly. Okay, and with that, the playlist.java is done. Congratulations, you now have, what's the marking scheme for it? So methods playAll now have 21 marks, because it's 4 for the driver. You can see that 9 marks are for the last few. So for these are worth 9 marks in total, so well worth getting those right. But where you really want to shine and is here, the driver program. It's 4 marks, which means 4% of your final grade is the driver. Now there are a few things you have to watch out for. Okay, so the driver class, which he wants us to call playlist driver. Let me go up here. New Java class playlist driver. Yeah, I want to add it to Git, and it will contain just a main method, main, that uses all of the methods provided in the other two classes to be tested to work with. Boom, boom. And the other two class, there we go. So, notice he does emphasize all methods. So, just to clarify, this won't be a fully you can customize this as much as you like. I'm going for the bare foundation stuff that will work and work well. Fill it up however you want. So AS2 the driver class. Okay, so he is quite adamant that it needs to have every method being used. So let's just start off with playlist list equals new playlist. And I'm gonna split and move this right so you can actually see, and I'm gonna collapse down all of these. So IntelliJ does a very good job in telling you what stuff is being used. Do you see on the grey names here? That is an indicator that it is not being used. So we have to turn all of these to be yellow because that is being used. Okay, so you can see when I uncomment this, the playlist function here should light up. Yeah, light up yellow. So we've created the playlist with how did I do it again? I tend to use a story to go through stuff. So yeah, we need to use all the methods. So the best way to do that is to use some like checking the name of the playlist. And I'm just going to use comments to the story. New playlist. Check the name. Check the name. Check the name. So it should be system.out.println list get name. So that will print out the name which is here, which is my playlist. Now I don't like my list. Like my playlist. So let's create a new one with a custom name. So list new playlist with a bit. With a better name, so it's a list equals new playlist CS4141. Oh, feck. Feck. Wrong module. Thankfully we can correct that by going list dot set name, which is CS4222. So in this point we have used 4 methods so far, all unique ones. You can see that these have lit up. That's good. And we are going to go through the first 2 of these. We're going to come back to this in a little bit. So we need to go list dot add there we go, add a title of, that would be a good title, feck it. Whew. Let's just go Sound of Silence. Life. I know, actually, wait, YouTube. Oh damn, I forgot there were so many ones. I think the Disturbed one was damn good. It's been ages. Bye. Let's just stick it alive. Oh wait, problem with this one is this doesn't give us the option to add a year or duration. So let's just go and list Sound of Silence by, and the other one that is pretty famous is Pawn Simon. So yeah, Sound of Silence, because we're literally not playing the music. Oh sigh, I'm so not sorry for that. So let's go showList. List dot showList. And now for fun, we're at the point where we can actually play the driver. So compiling it and getting to one. So we are printing out the name of it up there. Then we are changing the name, new playlist for the new lane, and then changing the name, adding a few tracks, and then showing what's in the list. But you see here, all of them have 0 time. Track. 0. So we got to remove them. So we got to list dot remove everything with the Sound of Silence. Now the interesting thing is this returns a boolean. So if we go if list remove, it will tell us if it removes stuff. So we can go system dot out dot playAll. Because all of the, and now if we play it, it will go successfully remove the bad data because it removed these three. What we need to do now, of course, is to add them in properly. So, properly add them this time. Life 2022 2020. Wonder how many seconds between now and 2020. And now. So, how long ago was the 1st of March 2020? Wonder, can we pop in an int of this size? Yeah. Disturbed released their one back in, ooh, god, 2015 actually, 2015, and it is, please don't, and it is 4 minutes and 19 seconds long. So 4 by 60. So it's 4 minutes by 60. Okay, that's easy enough to add. You can see I'm literally adding an anonymous parameter there. And where's the other one? Let's add the proper one, which is Simon Garfunkel. It's been ages since I actually listened to them. Simon and Garfunkel. There we go. When did they release that? That was 1981. 1981. And yeah, you can see I'm having a bit of fun here. And their version is 3 minutes and 58. So 3 minutes and 58. So this time we've already done showList. Now it's a system dot out dot println list. Contents. Oop, didn't mean to move that. There we go. And that gets us to use this one as well as the toString method. Uses the toString automatically. If I just run that, that angle and print out this, which is perfect. May need more coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna have to top up coffee, which is And now back, fortified with coffee. Oh yes, using the toString now. Oops. This got imported in earlier. Need to just get rid of it. I'm just gonna have to just go space, I think. There we go. There we go. Okay. Back to here. So the only one we have left of the adds to use is adding a track directly. But for now, let's just play. So we need to let's start randomly playing stuff. So list dot playAll, playAll, random, no, false. And you can see that it now prints off in the non-random order. But we also have to have its counterpart, the true one, which prints them off in a random order. .out.println. I just want a bit of space between each one because they inherently don't go on to the next line for each. Just to show you the output here, so spacing it out nicely. So that's normal, that's random, not too random, it's 3 items. And we need to play only list dot play only life. Yeah, I can see life is bonkers length time wise, and that will only print out 1 because we only have 1 for that. If we also want to print a specific year, we can go this way. And you can see that it also runs out that. So, oh wait, that's a string, not a, which is actually also good importance. Actually, let's go back to that design document. So, wait. Ooh, did I get that wrong? I think I may have been. Ooh, yeah. I definitely got that one wrong. Okay. So, do you remember how I did a to equals here? Equals ignore case? Yeah, that's wrong. What we need to do is contains. Okay, that's better. That's far, far better. So we need to go live something that a match partial match partial and we also need, I think, yeah, no, that's enough there. Yeah. Yep, so what this one do is go through, it will print the Simon one, it will print, okay. Time for a tad bit of debugging, because this is not working out the same way I thought it would. So yeah, live, Simon, Jedward. This is not working the same way it should, so you can see the oh yes, to lowercase. Yeah, this should work far better now. Yeah, so you do have to compare like with like. If one is lowercase, then the other has to be lowercase as well. So you can see life pops out, Simon pops out, nothing for Jedward. It is expected. Fix match like with like. You can probably begin to see how even someone with 10 more experience will go back and forth and make mistakes because of not completely reading things. It happens. The only thing that really matters is that you can correct it. Okay, so with that, we have actually used all but one of the methods. Should have one match. Who listens? One more. Now, here is where the little tricky bit of his specification comes into play. All of the methods provided in the other two classes. So we need to use the methods from both playlist, which is the one we created, and track. Now we can argue that okay, let's just move you over for, oh no, I needed to move up. There we go. So track, you can see that we have used many of the methods already. We need to expand on that. Okay. 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 So we are really using some methods. We are going to need to use a few more. So time to use track methods. Now, we can start it as before, like never gonna give ye up. Let's go with that. Bye. Get you shut up. And no. No, that's still info. So let's go use that same thing and recreate it. This time we need to add the year 2009. Oh no, still. Oh my god. Still. You idiot. And it is at 2.5 seconds. Yeah, that's grand. So now you can see that we've used all three methods here. Bum 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 bum. Oh no. Time to fix. Track dot. Okay, so we need to use both the gets to verify and the sets. So track dot get title dot equals we need to fix it. So track dot set title, and we need to set it to give you. We need to fix the other ones as well. Get artist is equal to Vic or Ashley. We need to fix that up to be Vic set artist. And next to him, yes, different get year equals 209. We need to go set year, and the correct year for that is 1987. It is a quite an old song, quite a good one. But the last one, finally, we want the 10-hour version of brilliance. So duration, and I think it is 360 duration. Get duration, set duration. Okay, and you will see that almost all of these have popped up yellow, which is good. Just be sure to print out the detail. System.out.println track. And for fun, input okay, so oh yeah, you can see never gonna give you up. You see the corrections before and after. Yeah, that's perfect. Finally, list dot add track, list dot playOnly 1987. Play out the ending. Okay, and this uses, well, except the compare to, but I'm not quite sure exactly how to use this myself. But we have now used every single method in both of the classes. It is two. Now using every single in both classes. And I am gonna push this up to the, oh wait, why are you giving out to me? Ha! Yeah. This is just complaining that these are never used. You don't tend to do this in real life. Yeah, you can see on the commits I've literally done since I started doing this morning, well, afternoon. And that's live. Okay, what that means now is we are let's just start using the markers, and yeah, it should start using the marker going forward. Oh, enable. That's interesting. So that is the end. Cancel. Wait, what changed? I thought it was. Yeah, updated. There we go. That should mean. Oh, come on. Wait, why are you? Come on, Git. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please let me know. Because I'm gonna... Oh yeah, one last thing is the challenges. Okay, so I've already talked to you about the part 1 challenge, which is for last time. Part 2 challenge for this is interesting. It is to create a... there we go, just marked it. It is to create a play option for this. See the example I give here? It plays through, marks progress through, counts up the timer, and this is what you've got to figure out. I've got a few hints here that will probably help you. And if you've got any questions about that, please ping me. And I am about to end then. Have a good evening.